How's it going, guys? My name's Pedro, and today we're going to be looking at the newest entry from the juggernaut that is Sony. So recently, Sony dropped their new Wh1000X Mark IV headsets, and today we're going to be having a closer look at them to determine whether or not it's worth your hard-earned cash. And we're going to be looking at this under three main categories. That'll be build quality, feature set on the headphones, and finally, whether or not it's a good value to pick them up. Now, there'll be timestamps down below, so if you want to jump ahead to anything, feel free to do so, but without further ado, let's get into it. So the first key category we're going to look into will be build quality, and right off the gate, the Mark IVs come in two key colors. One is a very modern white, and the other is a very classic and timeless matte black. Now, when it comes to the clamping pressure on the headphones themselves, the Mark IVs strike a perfect balance between clamping pressure and comfort. So after wearing the headphones for about 10 to 12 hours, I feel no sort of discomfort at all, and honestly, I often forget I'm even wearing the headset from time to time. And a thing to note with the Mark IVs here is when it comes to the actual headphone drivers themselves, I have a personal issue where the edges of my ears sometimes rub up on the inner wall of the drivers. And I'm happy to say that this issue is not found at all in the Mark IVs. My ears actually sit very comfortably in that there, and after 10 to 12 hours, I can take the headphones off without experiencing any sort of fatigue or sort of strain on my ears themselves. Now, the last thing when it comes to talking about the build quality of this headset itself, I want to touch a little bit on the longevity of this headset itself. Now, I don't have a crystal ball, so I can't tell you what the headset will look or feel like in about 3 to 4 years from now, but I do own the old Mark IIs, and I have used those as my daily drivers for the last 3 to 4 years, and in that time there, the Mark IIs have held up phenomenally without showing any signs of wear or tear, even though they have definitely been through about 4 years of abuse and still are going strong to date. Now, a little more on the Mark IIs in a little bit, but moving on to the second key category would be the feature set of the actual headphones themselves. To start with, the headphones boast a 30-hour battery life, and in my testing using the headphones for about 10 to 12 hours a day in both wireless and wired forms, I got about 3 days of battery life out of them, with still having enough battery leading into the 4th day. So I think this 30-hour claim is definitely accurate, and users will definitely see a comfortable week to 2 weeks worth of use on casual to moderate use. Now, when it comes to juicing up the Mark IVs themselves, you can get about 5 hours of battery life from about 10 minutes of charging from the wall. Now, this is great if you're like me and forget to charge up your headphones before you leave the house, or maybe they die while you're mid-commute, and you just need to plug them in for 10 minutes and you'll pretty much have enough battery to get you through the entire day. Now, moving on from that, the Mark IVs have a single USB-C cable on it, which is fantastic because it basically joins the crew with all of the other Infinite products that are now all boasting USB-C. That is, unless you are an iPhone user, where it'll be 2050 and you'll still be looking for that single lightning cable that no one ever has. Now, the next amazing feature on the Mark IVs themselves has to be the accompanying application for the headphones. For example, if you weren't a fan of the noise isolation and noise cancellation, simply take out the application and you can turn it off or turn it down to your liking. Not a fan of the sound profile on the headphones? Don't worry, there are plenty of presets for you to choose from. Don't like the presets? Fine, there's a full 5-band EQ to have your own custom profile on the headphones themselves. All of these features really help make the headphones personal and personalized to your liking themselves. Now, there are a bunch of cool little features in the application as well, such as analysis for your ears to get the best sound profile for your ears themselves, along with being able to set priority connections, so that way you can choose to prioritize connection to your device, or you can choose to have a priority on sound quality. And then along with that as well, you also have the ability to select different codecs to have better or higher quality sound profiles all in the headphones themselves. Now, from the app, that directly leads me into the sound quality. And to put it simply, it's nothing short of amazing. I used to be very skeptical when it came to Bluetooth headphones, but once I got the Wh1000Xs and was able to dial in a very specific sound profile for me, I literally had a pair of headphones that would put a smile on my face, whether I was listening to music, taking phone calls, or just watching movies on Netflix. The Wh1000Xs really give you that very personalized sound experience, and to me, it is a fantastic pair of headphones. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to say that the Wh1000Xs are better than listening to a vinyl record on a high-end sound system, but then again, Sony really isn't trying to go for that. They're not trying to compete with hi-fi, they're mostly trying to have amazing sound quality to people on the go across many devices All of this while providing a very sleek and well-designed form. And now, before we wrap up on the features, there are a bunch of smaller features on the headphones themselves. Things like having a little sensor on the inside of the right ear cup that basically is able to determine whether or not the headphones are on your head, and from this can either pause, play the music, or turn off the headset altogether if need be. And then there's also the really convenient media controls on the right ear cup, where basically you can swipe up or down to change volume and rotate tracks by moving left and right. And now finally, there's multi-device support for the 1000Xs. So basically you can have two devices connected up via Bluetooth and be able to seamlessly transition from listening to your smartphone to transitioning through to your laptop itself, all without pressing any buttons or having to turn anything on or off. It's fantastic. Now lastly, we come to the value, which is the third pillar in a solid product. And herein lies the problem with the Mark IVs. You remember the Mark IIs from about 4 years ago? Well, a large majority of the features on the Mark IVs were already present on this older headset. Now, you get great sound quality, great build quality, and amazing software on a pair of headphones from 4 years ago. Really, the only things you're really missing out on is USB-C, a little bit of fast charging, and this sensor on the inside of the ear cup. And when it comes to that USB-C feature, you even get those on the Mark III from last year. So I guess there is the real problem. Whilst a lot of the features are good and are useful, I really don't see the value in picking up a $300 headset when you can get the Mark IIIs on discount right now for about $200 or $150 if you're really looking hard enough on Amazon. And you could still be getting an amazing pair of headphones, all while saving a lot of money. Now don't get me wrong, I definitely understand there are some people that really like having the latest and greatest. For those people, get the Mark IVs. You will not be disappointed whatsoever with those headphones. But for anyone who's a little more cost conscious and a little more value orientated, I definitely think look at picking up the older Mark IIIs, or if you can find them for cheap, the older Mark IIs. You won't be disappointed at all. You'll be getting a large majority of the features that I've talked about today, and all of this while saving yourself a pretty penny. So that essentially wraps up my thoughts on the new Mark IVs from Sony. I really wanted to come in here today and say everyone should go and pick up a pair, and that they're a fantastic upgrade, which they are a good pair of headphones, but when there are better options from the same company, even though it's an older model, I'd still definitely say pick those up over the Mark IVs. But like I said, if you are after the best of the best, definitely get the Mark IVs. You won't be complaining at all. For everyone else, there's always the Mark IIIs. Either way, guys, my name's been Pedro. I hope you all have a good one. Maybe get subscribed if you want to check out more headphones. I'm sure there'll be other relevant content popping up on the screen. Either way, hope you all have a good one. Take it easy, guys.